so you went to meet him because Yuri wanted to introduce you because he was a martial arts practitioner himself.
Michael Jackson was martial arts black belt, and
was that common knowledge? I mean, I've never heard that before.
Yeah,
you can't imagine Michael Jackson as a martial artist.
I know, he was damn good.
Let's move from business to Michael Jackson. And obviously that was one of the two key things we talked about at the beginning, and obviously what you're well known for. You've quickly glossed over the fact that when you started to get well known, you met Uri Geller, and Uri Geller then introduced you to Michael. I mean, just tell us a bit more around that story, because I mean, even though you're a successful young guy at the time, it still must have been a bit of a surprise to walk into the room with probably what was and still is one of the, if not the most famous men in the world.
Yeah. Well, the last award he got was Guinness Book of Records, the most famous man in the world. But no, Uri Geller called me at 3 o'clock in the morning. Said, come to my house now. If you don't, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. The problem I had is he wouldn't tell me why. He would not tell me why. And he lived in Sondern-on-Thames, just outside of Reading in England. So it's about 3.5 hours from me. Incredible house, like a replica of the White House. £20 million mansion with all the ground and buildings attached, next to George Clooney's house. So I said, Yuri, can you just tell me why? So look, I've never guided you wrong. Get in your Ferrari, stop moaning. I love you, bye. Put the phone down me. So I had a massive row with my missus, so you could imagine. What the hell, you could try and explain where you're going and 3 o'clock in the morning. And I arrive at Yuri's house, the gates open as they do, and it's an incredible home, and walk in his living room, and yeah, this guy walks up to me and he bows to me, says, hi, Master Finesse, my name is Michael Jackson, pleased to meet you. And I thought, flipping heck, I know you are, what are you doing here? And then for a second I thought, I'm quite high profile on all these shows. It's a prank TV show like Jeremy Beadle or something like that, And I know Uri Geller was very powerful, internationally famous, and I'd hear presidents ring and royalty and big names would be there, but not to this level. I never heard him mention Michael Jackson. And it turns out it's his best mate, best man at his wedding, and we got on like a house on fire. Me and Michael just got on so well.
Just talk about Uri, because I mean, I think for people, he's still alive, Uri.
Yeah. He's got living in Israel, Uri Geller Museum.
But I think for people, I guess who are, let's say, younger than us, it's not really a name that people know now. But I mean, going back to certainly the 80s and 90s, I mean, the guy was enormous. Like you say, he was known as, I guess, the spoon bender, and that he had some money, some international connections. But I don't think people appreciate, the quantum of wealth, the amount of power. I mean, where did it all come from?
So he's got companies all around the world. When you're world famous, you just release one book and it does modestly okay with a publisher. He's translated in all those different languages. I think he's published like 52 books, and he's got production
about
mind
stuff.
Power, mind medicine, creating wealth and health and so forth. Autobiographies. There's loads of books that he's done and co-written. And then he's got TV shows all around the world. He used to say to me about the UK, he said, Matt, you can never be a prophet in your hometown. So in the UK, it's just spoon bent. When you go around the world with Uri Geller, there's none of that. It's more about the mind side. So you got like Tony Robbins.
I was about to say,
Firewalk.
As I'm listening to this, he's basically sounding like a Tony Robbins with a who can do a few magic tricks, if you like.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that spoon thing, fork thing, metal thing, pound coin. If it's magic, then it's damn good, because he literally just rubs it, hands it to you, and it bends in your hand. So, I don't know. I've seen him doing swimming pools, every kind of theory. I thought, is it a chemical? Is it this? But I've known that guy since I was 17 now, and I'm 44. He's my best friend, and I don't know how he does it. I've got no idea. And I've seen it probably more than many, many people. But no, he's been investigated by scientists and everything. But no, he's got TV shows all around the world called The Next Uri Geller, where people are trying to audition in front of him to be the next Uri Geller. And in the UK, he's just never been given that kind of recognition. So
you meet Michael, middle of the night. Your missus is pissed off with you.
Yeah, and then you try telling her where I am. That's interesting, isn't it? Where are you? Oh, I'm just hanging out with Michael Jackson, the singer.
And you went to meet him because Yuri wanted to introduce you because he was a martial arts practitioner himself.
So Michael Jackson was a martial arts black belt. And
was that common knowledge? I mean, I've never heard that before. You can't imagine Michael Jackson as a martial artist.
I know, he was damn good. Not just him though. Tito, Jermaine, all of them did it. All the Jacksons. Joseph made sure they wanted to make sure they could take care of himself. Joseph was a boxer, their dad. They call him Joseph, by the way. They don't call him Dad. That's why I refer to him as Joseph. And yeah, it's common knowledge. You know, you look back at Michael Jackson's dancing, he puts all the kicks and punches and blocks in his dance, and it's all in there. He was a Bruce Lee fanatic. You sit down with Michael and watch a movie, he would annoy you because he'd know every single word to Enter the Dragon, Where the Dragon, the Big Boss. No matter how many times he just watched the movies over and over again. And he wanted to meet Shannon Lee and Linda Lee, Bruce Lee's ex-wife and only surviving child, his daughter. Because that's what he did. He studied the greats and wanted to know how they stayed relevant. And I had connections to Shannon Lee and Linda Lee. So he was obsessed about what made Bruce Lee so relevant all these years on. So he would study like James Brown, Charlie Chaplin, Fred Astaire, and take bits from them and put them into his own dance and his thinking. Read 4 or 5 non-fiction books per week. If we go to bookshops, he just cleaned the whole place out, literally. Actually, one time we went to London. We were running late for our flight. And it was a particular bookshop, and it specialised in art, because he's an artist as well. And I said, I went up to him, and in public I referred to him as Mr. Jackson. I said, oh, Mr. Jackson, we need to get going, you know. And he goes, damn, I love this bookshop too. Okay, can you just tell her I'll take all of it? I said, what do you mean? We'll just take everything. So Michael, I'm not going up to that cashier in town. You can take the whole thing. So, okay, I'll do it. And he goes up to her and goes, hi. Said, I got to catch a flight apparently. Can I take everything and you can send it to Neverland and my team will take care of the bill. Thank you, bye. And they shut the door down on the shop that day. And it all got exported. Every single book got exported to Neverland. Yeah, it was insane. So he would just like study. He was Tony Robbins. He was really into him. Tony talks about him in his Personal Power kit about that. Michael had the biggest endorsement deal of all time with Pepsi Cola. He was the man who started off celebrity endorsements and licensing. So for him, he was a big inspiration to me. I mean, he took me under his wing.